Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And I know the fashionable thing to talk about right now when you're talking Jeff Bezos is pee bottles in Amazon factories. Now, although that is an extremely important issue, for many reasons, not just because of the slave labor model, but the gaslighting involved, saying you don't actually believe that, do you? And the fact that it will eventually be used to push more and more automation and less human contact. As we're all gross, we need to wear masks. He already propagandized everybody with his hero commercials where people came in and had infrared cameras on them as they took a shot to the forehead to get into their slave job. So yeah, that's an issue, but not as big of an issue as we're going to talk about today, because it's time people woke up to the fact that Jeff Bezos and other cohorts within this media, military, industrial complex, globalist system don't play by the rules because they are the rules. They are mere frontmen at this point for this globalist great reset, new world order, not new normal agenda, new world order agenda. That's what this is. And Bezos is definitely a cunning guy, definitely a guy that worked hard to build an infrastructure, but a guy that long ago solidified himself as part of that media, military, industrial complex. And nothing should sing that to you more than the fact that Blue Origin is Elon Musk's competition for space. Because this entire agenda relies on putting this carrot on a stick telling you, we're going to go to the moon and we're going to go to Mars and we're going to reveal alien life. And it's going to be great. And these guys are going to help us because they're benevolent and they love us. But in reality, what they're doing is developing high-tech weapon systems in space and using rockets as their front of how we're going to get there. Any real progress into space, folks, would be a different type of propulsion system. In fact, there's a story out, you can go check out, I believe it's in my Twitter feed, it's also on my Facebook, where yet another rocket blew up in SpaceX. You hear about Blue Origin less, and that's because if these guys ever start to get out of their cages too much, right? If they ever, decide to go independent, there's always a rival to come in and step up the game. However, this story that we're going to focus on is Bezos employing internet trolls on behalf of Amazon so that they will go out on platforms like Twitter and just unabashedly defend the indefensible. And why is this important? Because this is not only a government tactic, this is a propaganda tactic that Bezos is employing because he's learned from his partners, his masters. Okay? And we are going to go over all this stuff. We're going to go over the history of really Bezos outwardly allowing Amazon to be absorbed by this military-industrial complex, his purchase of the Washington Post, and much more. We're going to highlight this story. What I need you to do is thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Remember, I need you to make a free Rockfin account. Rockfin. It's great that you're over here on YouTube. We love you for it. But they could censor me at any time. 2 retroactive strikes, medical misinformation. We're in an age of COVID 1984 where the definition of hate speech is ever expanding and vaccine passports are now a reality around the globe. Now a reality around the globe and being instituted more and more on a daily basis. You want to understand? why this is a long-term process, please watch Fabled Enemies and Loose Change Final Cut. Tried to wake America up back then. A lot of people snickered. A lot of people laughed. A lot of people didn't understand what was happening. Well, the infrastructure that's now being used against us, the citizens, okay, the DHS expansions, the black sites, that's all because we allowed it under the guise of terror. And now who are the terrorists? Who'd I tell you it was going to be about? And you want the bigger agenda? You want to know what this great reset is really running for? Invisible Empire and New World Order Defined and Shade the Motion Picture. They're all free. They're all free. You can also find them over at rockfin.com/Jason Burmis. Need you to make that free account. If you didn't catch my Labba-Dabba-Doo with Reddy Magoo Uncensored, it's got quite a bit more into it. Okay, so you need to check that one out too. Rockfin. And Odyssey, thank you for backing up the channel. Let's get into it, okay? So, Amazon's Twitter army was handpicked for great sense of humor, leaked document reveals. Amazon ambassadors were trained to defend Jeff Bezos and clap back at Bernie Sanders under a program codenamed Veritas. Now, this is the dark humor, the joke. Let's find the funny people to defend techno-fascism and globalism, slave labor and unaccountability. I mean, wow. Okay? Amazon's small Twitter army of ambassadors was quietly conceived in 2018 under the codename Veritas, which sought to train and dispatch select employees to the social media trenches to defend Amazon and its CEO, Jeff Bezos. According to an internal description of the program obtained exclusively by The Intercept, Amazon ambassadors drew attention this week as they responded to a wave of online criticism for the company's treatment of workers amid a union drive at the Amazon warehouse in Bessemer, Alabama. See? Oh, we'll employ the ambassador trolls. Come on. And again, it's all about the pee bottle stuff. But again, they're going to use that to employ automation and then offer you, oh, don't worry, we got a universal basic income for you. This is the takeover. This is the transhumanist movement. This is the age of deception. This is the post-truth world that Bilderberg was discussing years ago. Go look into the post-truth world. And of course, they wanted to spin it. It's the era of fake news and disinformation. No, it's you censoring anything outside of your false narrative, you bastards. Anticipating criticism of worker conditions at their fulfillment centers in particular, Amazon designed Veritas to train fulfillment center workers chosen for their great sense of humor to confront critics, including policymakers on Twitter, in a blunt manner. The document, produced as part of a pilot program in 2018 and marked Amazon.com confidential, also includes examples how its ambassadors can snarkily respond to criticisms of the company and its CEO. Several examples involve Senator Bernie Sanders, a longtime critic of the $1 trillion firm that has been targeted by it in recent days. Even he is extremely spineless and simply will not point out what we're about to point out. Okay? First of all, let's talk about the space front. Blue Origin versus SpaceX. Bezos and Musk's subtle battle for supremacy. No, for their piece of the propaganda pie. For their piece of militarizing space, of being even more entrenched in this new infrastructure of, our digital tech overlords. That comfy spot, right? As a high-level decider like Gates is now, amongst other Predator class members. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Gates got in after they stopped with the SEC stuff, joins the Council on Foreign Relations. Like a decade later, he's part of the good guy club with guys like Turner and Soros and Rockefeller and Oprah and Bloomberg. Don't forget Bloomberg and Buffett. Oh my, right? So now this is the battle right here. That's the real insight. That's the real subtle battle. Okay? And just so everybody understands, this is going on now. He's going to expand rocket manufacturing facility in Kennedy Space Center. This is from 2 days ago. So you hear a lot about SpaceX, but Blue Origin, just the fact that these two alone, and just like Google is involved with NASA in artificial intelligence and quantum computing, this is extremely suspect, right? NASA and Blue Origin upgrading new Shepard spacecraft for artificial gravity. Bum, bum, bum. So Blue Origin also in the background. Be suspicious of any type of program that's telling you that rockets are taking people to the moon and Mars. That goalpost just keeps moving and moving and moving and moving. And I ask you, again, if rockets work so well in 2021, why hasn't space travel been going on with all of the other rival first world nations? Why are we still in league with Russia and others in the International Space Station? And just up until this year, did we have to use SpaceX rockets to get our own astronauts to the ISS? We were using Russian rockets until then. It's a joint program. Shows you there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. Again, what do you think Starlink really is when DARPA launches its own military Starlink? What do you think Neuralink really is when DARPA had the technology decades upon decades ago? Okay? This is actually a smart piece by The Guardian. All right? Billionaire capitalists are designing humanity's future. Don't let them! Tech barons like Bezos want to colonize space and our oceans. Their visions of the future aren't public-spirited or democratic. Thank you. Wake up. They're not your friends. These are sociopaths. These are sociopaths. All right? And again, when I tell you that this infrastructure has been built up, right? The details about the CIA's deal with Amazon, a $600 million computing cloud, built by an outside company, is a radical departure from the risk-averse intelligence community. No, it's not. It's the integration. It's letting you know that the Central Intelligence Agency and the NSA are highly involved in the success of things like Amazon, that they want you to drone deliver you everything and tell you will own nothing by 2030. That's what this is. That's what this is. All the real hardcore stuff isn't in a cloud, guys. No, it's hard copy access only. Wake up. Wake up. And then it progressed. Oh, NSA moves to develop secret data cloud developed by Amazon 4 years later. The infrastructure eats itself alive, right? Bezos, listen, there's no doubt that Bezos is an idea guy. He's very powerful. He's a hard worker. That's why they like him. That's why he's been groomed into this, okay? That's why he's allowed to own newspapers like the Washington Post for the last 8 years, okay? You starting to get it? You understand? He gets to put out his interests, their interests, the same narrative. Guys like Musk and Bezos have made a multitude of money and achieved even more assets. Well, the middle class has been gutted and our infrastructure has been gutted. And they are instituting right now a high-tech track trace database society for everybody. When Roosevelt was warning against the Nazis, that was cornflakes and biscuits compared to this. Yes, these men and their hypnotized followers call this a new order. It is not new, and it is not order. Instead, it is a system of which they want the regimentation of all human beings. Doesn't matter what your skin color is. Doesn't matter if you identify as a Lego. Do you get it? It is here. Oh, so folks, thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. At Jason Burmis is the Venmo. jasonisvoid@yahoo.com. That's the PayPal. Those are the two ways to financially support me if you are not a premium member over at Rockfin. And there's the chat going wild. Operation High Jump. Why is that even in here? We're not even talking about that stuff. Admiral Byrd, that's interesting stuff, but definitely not what we're talking about. I do want to remind everybody once again that it is Rockfin. Make that free Rockfin account. Jump in. Join the conversation when the conversation gets too heated for this platform. And believe me, times are coming that I'm probably just waking up and the channel's gone and nothing I can do to stop it. So if you haven't made the free Rockfin account, I would urge you to do so. If you are a premium member and you endorse Jason Burmis, you get everybody else. Jay Dyer just came along. I saw Abby Martin is on there as well. Whitney Webb, another great creator. Graham Elwood, Ron Placone, Nico House, The Convo Couch, Slow News Day, and many others. Guys, thank you for joining me for this. And see beyond the illusion, okay? See beyond the mainstream narrative of what they're selling you.